Welcome to Ghouls Night Out with your hostesses, Brandy and Jody.
Hey, beautiful ghouls. Welcome. This is Brandy. I'm here with my sister, Jody.
Hello.
So, this week I actually did find a few news stories that were worth reading, which is stupid because I already decided to do fun facts. But I got some fun facts too. But this woman, let's see, I don't know where it's from, but she was known only as Casey, and she shared her story of how her wedding day didn't turn out exactly as she planned. The night before, she had been celebrating with her friends, so I'm assuming like the bachelorette party.
Yeah.
And she received a number of text messages from an unknown number, and they were screenshots of text conversations between her fiance, Alex, and another woman.
Uh-oh.
And some of the texts read, "This weekend, you and I, it's on hot stuff. Bring your A game. Your body's like fucking incredible. I wish my girlfriend had half the skills you did."
Oh.
Along with screenshots, and I guess this person put, "I wouldn't marry him, will you?" on there. And she obviously showed her friends because they were there.
Yeah.
And they were like, you need to call that off. She's like, "No, I have a plan." So she went through the entire thing, but instead of saying her vows, she said there will be no wedding today. It seems as Alex is a person, or not who I thought he was, like to everybody. Mm-hmm. And it says, among the shocked gasps, Alex was trying to reach for her, and she proceeded to read the text messages out loud. And she said Alex went pale, and she explained as they led the church, his best man was running after him. And she was like, "I love you all, and as horrible as this is, I'm glad you're all here. There will be not a wedding reception, but instead a celebration of honesty, finding true love, and following your heart even when it hurts."
Aw.
I know.
That's awesome.
She said they ended up having one hell of a party. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Good for her.
That is an awesome way to handle that.
It is.
Instead of flying off the handle and...
Yeah, that would be like that's the opposite of what I would do.
I would never gonna forget that.
I know.
It's awesome.
I know. That is amazing. So I thought I would read that because I read that in the news. Also, this is horrible, but this woman was sucked through the window of a plane.
Oh.
I guess one of the engines blew up or something. Let me see. It was an Irish traffic control. And anyway, I read this story this week. No, one of the engines blew up and like cracked the window next to where she was sitting. Yeah. And like before anyone knew what was going on, she was halfway out, and like people tried to pull her in. And oh my god, it was horrible. I don't remember what happened. I'll have to post that on Facebook. But another story this week, there was a UFO sighting over Ireland. And it was the view from an airplane window. Several airborne sightings of at least one very bright unidentified flying object were seen last Friday, according to air traffic control audio logs. Chatter between airline pilots and Irish traffic control focused briefly on the sightings, with at least 4 aviators confirming that they'd seen the phenomenon. So 4 different people said, they saw this thing. The pilot said that she had never seen anything move so fast. It came up on our left-hand side, rapidly veered to the north. We saw a bright light, and it just disappeared at a very high speed. We were just wondering. We didn't think it was likely on a collision course, but we didn't know what it could be. The pilot on Virginia Flight 76 added that his flight crew had seen 2 bright lights at 1 o'clock in the morning, which seemed to bank over the right and then climb away at speed. So these airplane, people who are used to being up in the air,
yeah,
seeing this weird shit, it's creepy. Anyway, that's pretty much all that was. So I have 20 just kind of random fun facts.
Okay.
For you today. If you somehow found a way to extract all of the gold from the bubbling core of our lovely little planet, you would be able to cover all the land in a layer of gold up to your knees.
Wow.
That's a lot of gold.
And how would someone figure that out?
And up to whose knees? Because everybody's knees are different lengths,
Yeah.
right?
That's stupid.
It's true, though.
How do you know?
Well, is it up to Tyrion's knees?
No,
She's
oh yeah,
super
that
short.
part. Yeah, I thought you meant about the goal. I was like, how do you know that?
Oh, well, I don't know.
How does anyone know?
But I'm asking whose knees? Okay.
the bee's knees.
That's not gold. That's not enough gold at all.
So stupid.
You said it.
I'm so embarrassed.
No, it's super funny. It's probably going to be the title of this next episode.
The bee's knees.
Knee.
What?
Knee. Do bees have knees?
I would have to say no to that. So see, there's no gold.
Not even up to the bee's knees.
It
Okay.
reminds me, I saw a post today where it showed this lady with, and it showed her eyes and her eyelashes, and her eyelashes looked all weird. And it said that it wasn't lashes, it was fly legs glued to her
What?
lips. I was like, what?
What?
Why would you do that? It was so stupid. So it's like
Ew.
it looked like eyelashes, but they were all like,
No.
it was, I don't know, it was stupid. Anyway.
Ew. Oh, okay, that's disgusting. Okay, number 2. McDonald's calls frequent buyers of their food heavy users.
Is that like what's that called? When it has two meanings.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, like, aren't serial killers called heavy hitters? Or could they be heavy hitters?
I don't know.
Oh, that has nothing to do with anything. I've been drinking a little bit.
Doesn't seem like it's going to be a very good episode.
It's going to be
Sorry,
great.
guys.
It's going to be great. Okay, number 3. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting on a red light to turn green.
Well, that's just sad.
6 months. Oh my gosh, that's depressing. I bet mine's worse because I take back roads to work.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Number 4. The
You know
large.
what though?
Oh. What?
That's not going to be true after a while because they are putting roundabouts everywhere.
Yes, they are taking the Circle City shit a little bit
Yes,
too
they
literally.
are.
Yeah, I agree.
I have to say though, I do like roundabouts now.
Fucking hate roundabouts.
I didn't like them at first, but I do now.
If people weren't stupid and they would use them correctly, that would be different.
That is a problem. Yes, you have to pay very close attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah. Number 4. The largest recorded snowflake was in Keogh, Montana during the year 1887, and it was 15 inches wide. A snowflake.
Why are people recording snowflakes?
I don't know, but that's pretty cool.
No, it's not.
Wouldn't
That's
you
the
want to
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Wouldn't you want to
We're going to record the size of snowflakes. That
Well-
person needs to do something better with their
Okay,
lives.
are you telling me if you're you're sitting in the window and you're watching the snow and you see a 15-inch wide snowflake, you're not going to be like, oh my fucking god, let's measure
yes.
that shit.
I would think, oh, that's really cool, but that would be as far as it goes.
Oh,
It's a snowflake.
I would want to see how wide it was. Anyway. Number 5, you burn more calories sleeping than you do watching TV. So next time you turn something on, take a nap. I do that too. So we have been exercising.
Oh, yes, we have.
It's just secret exercising. And it's just not that obvious to everyone, but that's okay.
Well, it'd be nice if I had something to show for it.
I have been. It's what's motivating me because I've been getting all my winter stuff out and everything that was really tight on me last year. I'm like, oh, I don't want to put this on and it's totally loose.
Yay!
I know.
That's awesome.
But the fucking Halloween candy.
Yeah, I know.
It's becoming. I know it's going to happen. So I have got to get back on track like now. So
Yes.
yeah, that doesn't count. Okay, number 6. There are more life forms living on your skin than there are people on the planet.
Ew.
Ew. Probably some more than others. Number 7. Southern sea otters have flaps of skin under their forelegs that act as pockets. So when diving, they use these pockets to store rocks and food. Interesting. They have built-in pockets.
Wonder why rocks?
No,
Food
maybe-
I could see.
Maybe they like build nests or something with rocks. Number 8, in 1386, a pig in France was executed by public hanging for the murder of a child. Oh my God. That's horrible. All around for everybody. That is horrible. Poor kid. Poor pig. Oh my God. It's just horrible.
Oh, okay.
Number 9. 1 in every 5 adults believes that aliens are hiding in our planet disguised as humans. Very interesting. 1 in 5.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Huh.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Number 10. If you believe that you're truly 1 in a million, there are still approximately 7,184 more people out there just like you.
Oh,
So
there's
you're
no one like me.
well, actually, you're only 1 in 7,184 apparently.
That can't be true.
That can't be true.
No.
You're the only Jody ever.
Well, anyone is the only anyone.
Exactly. So
There's
that's
nobody. I'm sorry. No, I don't believe that.
I don't either.
Maybe someone that looks like you.
Or maybe alive people. What about people in general? How many people have there ever been?
Yeah. No.
So yeah. Number 11, a single cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds.
Wow, because they're filled with water.
Yeah, that's crazy and kind of scary. A human will eat on average 70 assorted insects and 10 spiders while sleeping.
Like in their life.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, but
Okay.
I'd rather eat them than them like go in my ear and.
Could you imagine one morning just waking up and finding like a leg in your teeth? That would be horrible. That would be horrible.
I have to count that as calories.
Do you have enough to exercise?
Is that a carb?
Isn't it protein? Well, I think,
Yeah. I think it'd be more of a protein than a carb.
yeah, because people eat like termites and stuff for protein.
What?
On, what's that show?
I don't know.
Aaron made me used to, Naked and Afraid.
Oh.
Aaron made me watch it.
Yeah.
I actually liked it. But yeah, they would eat bugs for protein.
Yeah, I've heard of people eating bugs before.
Yeah, but ew. As long as I don't know about it, but yeah, if I wake up with a leg and like
Or a
sticking
half-chewed spider in your mouth.
yeah,
I
I
would flip out.
I will lose my shit.
I would flip out.
Okay, let's just change the subject because I'm going to vomit everywhere. Okay, number 13, James Buchanan, the 15th U.S. president, continuously bought slaves with his own money in order to free them.
Aww.
Aw, James Buchanan.
It was awesome.
I know.
Why can't we have a president like that?
No shit. We have like the opposite of that.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that.
No. Okay, number 14. There are more possible iterations of a game of chess than there are atoms in the known universe.
Really?
Holy shit. That's crazy. Number 15. The average person walks the equivalent of 3 times around the world in a lifetime. That's crazy.
I bet I don't.
Yeah, I bet some more than others, but I mean, you never. I'm think about it.
I know. That's how you get around. That's
Yeah,
You walk.
that's
everywhere.
crazy.
Yeah.
Number 16. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. Fuck yeah. Sorry, guys.
Doesn't that tell you something?
Number 17. Coca-Cola would be green if coloring wasn't added.
Ooh, they should just leave it.
They should for Halloween, at least.
Yeah.
18. You cannot snore and dream at the same time. That's weird.
Really?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess. I got these off the internet, so who fucking knows? I could just be reading sentences.
People made their own list.
And we're like, oh my god, this is so great. And totally true. Coke is green.
Just so everyone knows, who knows what's true on our podcast? And
Oh yeah, we don't know.
yeah, we don't know nothing.
It's-
We don't know nothing.
We're just talking. We're just talking and most likely drunk.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just for fun. No education.
No
education.
This is not for educational purposes at
Just
all.
for fun. We're just all hanging out, and it's all cool. Let's see. Number 19. The world's oldest piece of chewing gum is over 9,000 years old.
That's gross.
I know. What the fuck? That'd be crumbly
How'd
as
they,
fuck.
how'd they come up with chewing gum that long ago?
It is some sort. It used to be some sort of like a root, I think. And they would just chew on it, and then they took whatever stuff was in it, and then formed like like gum.
Yeah.
I think it was like a long time ago. But it was some sort of plant at the beginning. And number 20, a coyote can hear a mouse moving underneath a foot of snow.
Wow.
That is crazy. Okay, so those were my fun facts for the week. Yay.
All right. My topic today is 10 lesser known U.S. monsters and cryptids.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Okay.
I love cryptids. They creep me the fuck out.
I know, because they're creepy.
I know.
So, number 1 is the skunk ape.
I've heard
And
of
they
this.
are from Florida. This large, hairy, bipedal mammal is said to inhabit the southern United States, but it's most often spotted in Florida. It gets its name from its unpleasant odor, which is said to be similar to rotten eggs or methane. Although reports of the creature were most common in the 1960s and 1970s, sightings continue today, but the most famous one took place in 2000. That year, 2 photographs of an animal alleged to be the skunk ape were mailed to the Sarasota Sheriff's Department in Florida, along with a letter from a woman who said she'd photographed the creatures in her backyard. She said that the cryptid had entered her yard for 3 nights and taken apples from her porch. She was convinced the animal was an escaped orangutan. The police dispatched to her house several times never saw the animal. The National Park Service says the skunk ape is a myth that developed from Native American legends, but according to the Skunk Ape Research Headquarters, the creature might be part of the same species as Bigfoot. There is a Skunk Ape Research Headquarters.
I know.
Anyway.
They do experiments on the weirdest shit. And they spend like a ton of money on it. It's crazy. Where is the line drawn where it's either an animal species or a cryptid? You know what I mean? Like, why isn't a skunk ape just categorized as an ape?
Because it's not a known animal. These are just things that people have said they've seen, but it's not proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they exist.
So a skunk ape is like really technically not a thing.
No, like Bigfoot.
Really?
Like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Number 2 is Tahoe Tessie, which has been seen in California and Nevada. Stories of this aquatic creature in Lake Tahoe can be traced back to members of the Washoe and Paiute tribes in the mid-19th century, who said the cryptid lived in an underwater tunnel beneath cave rock. Sightings of Tessie, who got her nickname from the famous Nessie of Loch Ness fame, continue today, with witnesses describing the creature as being between 10 and 80 feet long, having a serpentine body and coloration ranging from black to turquoise.
Ooh, weird.
There are several theories surrounding Tessie, the most popular being that the animal is a plesiosaur, ichthyosaur, or massosaur, because fossils of these creatures have been found in the surrounding Sierra Nevada mountains. However, scientists say this is unlikely because the lake formed in the last ice age, long after those animals went extinct.
Huh.
Other Tessie theories say she could simply be a large sturgeon or an unidentified species of freshwater eel, but believers point to a quotation from undersea explorer Jacques Cousteau, who's alleged to have emerged from a submarine expedition in Lake Tahoe and said, "The world isn't ready for what's down there."
Oh, shit.
So, okay, back to what we were talking about before, like when you were asking what's the difference between
Right.
an animal and a cryptid. The what was it called? It was the giant squids.
Oh, yeah.
Those were cryptids, but they found an actual body
Oh,
of
shit.
a giant squid. So now they are,
Known.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're not a cryptid anymore.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love it.
Number 3 is the Pope Lick Monster, which is in Kentucky. This legendary human-goat hybrid has a deformed human torso, goat legs, and a horned head, and it's said to haunt the railway trestle over Pope Lick Creek in Louisville, Kentucky. Numerous urban legends exist about the creature's origins. Some stories say the monster is a circus freak who vowed revenge after his mistreatment, while others claim it's a reincarnated farmer who sacrificed goats in exchange for satanic powers. Stories of how it claims its victims are equally diverse. Many believers think it uses voice mimicry to lure trespassers to their deaths before oncoming trains. Some say it slays its victims with an axe, while others say that simply the sight of the Pope Lick monster is so terrifying that people jump to their deaths.
Oh, my God.
These legends have turned the Pope Lick train trestle into a destination for thrill seekers, and there have been a number of deaths at the location despite the 8-foot fence meant to keep visitors out. Number 4 is the Ozark Howler. It's in the Ozark Mountains. Witnesses describe this creature as a large black cat with horns and glowing eyes, and it gets its name from the loud, eerie howl it emits throughout the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas, Missouri,
Ew.
Oklahoma, and Texas. Cryptozoologists have suggested that the creature could be an unrecognized big cat. Anthropologists have speculated that the stories of the cryptid were simply inspired by the black dogs of death found in British folklore. However, evolutionists who believe in the Ozark Howler say it could be a mutated mountain lion breed or a hybrid of a mountain lion and another animal. Alright, number 5, Liamna lake monster. I don't think I'm saying that right. Which is from Alaska. The locals call her Illy, and reports of the cryptid have been around since the indigenous Aleut people lived on the shores of Alaska's Liamna Lake. However, the lake monster wasn't brought into the public eye until the 1940s, when pilots reported seeing a large fish swimming in the waters below. By the 1950s, there were consistent reports of large aluminum-colored fish in the lake, and in 1979, the Anchorage Daily News offered $100,000 to anyone who could provide conclusive evidence of Illy's existence. So far, no evidence has been found, but sightings of the fish continue today, and Illy was even featured on Animal Planet's show River Monsters. But scientists say there's no monster in Lake Iliamna. Many have suggested that what people are seeing are actually sleeper sharks. These fish can exceed 20 feet in length and swim into rivers and lakes to find food, and scientists say that Illy sightings are often consistent with the shark's shape and colors.
With what?
Huh?
Consistent with what?
Shark's shape and colors.
Oh, interesting.
Number 6, Lizard Man of Scape Ore Swamp, South Carolina. This reptilian humanoid cryptid is described as being 7 feet tall, bipedal, and having scaly lizard skin, and it's said to live in the swamplands in Lee County, South Carolina. The first reported sighting of the creature was in 1988 when 17-year-old Christopher Davis saw the creature running toward him while he was changing a tire beside Scape Ore Swamp. Davis got in his car to escape, but the lizard man jumped onto the roof and clung to it as the teen tried to throw it off.
Oh my God.
When he returned home, Davis found that his side view mirror was damaged and there were deep scratch marks across the car's roof. For the next month, there were further reports of an aggressive lizard-like creature and more reports of unusual scratches and bite marks on cars parked near the swamp. Police were skeptical, but stated that a sufficient number of sightings by reliable people led them to believe that something was being seen. Although they thought it was likely a bear, The sheriff's department made plaster casts of what appeared to be large three-toed footprints to send to the FBI, but decided against sending them after the South Carolina Marine Resources Department said they were unclassifiable. Reports of the lizard man declined over the next few years, but in 2011, a couple reported that their car had been mauled, and the former Lee County sheriff said the damage was similar to the 1988 incidents.
Oh, weird. That's crazy.
Yeah, I just can't imagine seeing a lizard man
Fuck no.
running towards you. I mean,
No. I would probably just die. Just right there. I'd just die. That would be the craziest. I mean, that's insane.
number 8, Jersey Devil in New Jersey. Since the 1700s, there have been thousands of reported sightings of this cryptid in the New Jersey Pinelands. Described as a kangaroo-like creature with the head of a dog, bat-like wings, horns, and a forked tail, the animal is said to prowl through the marshes of southern New Jersey and spook people with its hideous appearance. Although there are many stories about the creature's origins, the most commonly accepted is that in 1735 there was a woman called Mother Leeds who had 12 children. She stated that if she gave birth to another child it would be the devil, and when her 13th child was born it transformed into the Jersey Devil, killed its mother, and flew screaming into the woods. To this day, residents of cities near the Pinelands have reported hearing the devil's screams late at night. However, skeptics say that the creature is nothing more than a story created by English settlers.
Whoa.
Yeah, that story is just a little out there.
I love folklore.
Number 9, Loveland Frog in Ohio. This humanoid creature with the face of a frog was first spotted in Loveland, Ohio in 1955. A businessman said he saw several creatures with green skin, webbed hands, and wide mouths squatting under a bridge, and one of the creatures reportedly held up a bar-like device that emitted sparks, leaving a strong odor of alfalfa and almonds behind. There were no further sightings of the Loveland Frog until 1972, when police, including Officer Mark Matthews, said they saw a frog-faced man jump over a rail and into the Little Miami River. Weeks later, a farmer reported seeing the creature riding a bicycle. And then Officer Mark Matthews saw the Loveland Frog for a second time. This time it was lying in the road, and Matthews shot at it, but it escaped. And why is that always our first thought, is to shoot at something?
I don't know.
However, in 2001, Matthews retracted his story, saying it wasn't a monster and was probably just a pet lizard that got too large for its aquarium.
I was riding a bicycle? That's an advanced lizard.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Number 10, Chessie, Maryland and Virginia. Chessie is another sea monster named in the style of legendary Nessie, but this cryptid reportedly lives in the waters of Chesapeake Bay. There have been numerous sightings of the creature, which witnesses describe as 25 to 40 feet long, serpent-like and finned. There were a rash of Chessie sightings in the 1970s and 1980s, but an alleged photograph of the creature turned out to be a manatee. In 1982, videotape of the creature shows a brownish object moving side to side like a snake, but the video hasn't been substantiated. The last notable sighting of Chessie was in 1997.
No, actually, wasn't that long ago.
No. That was all the monsters, but I did pull up some stuff about Bigfoot. It said it's the best evidence of Bigfoot.
Nice.
So, one of the evidence, or some of the evidence, are footprints.
Mm-hmm.
He isn't called Bigfoot for nothing. There have been more than 900 footprints attributed to Bigfoot collected over the years, having an average length of 15.6 inches. The average width is 7.2 inches. That's one big foot.
Yeah.
By comparison, the foot of a 7-foot, 3-inch basketball player, a rarity, is 16.5 inches long, but only 5.5 inches wide. Through 1958 and 1959, Bob Titmus and others found numerous Bigfoot tracks in the area of Bluff Creek, where the famous Patterson Gremlin film was shot several years later.
What? Isn't that famous?
Yeah. In 1988, wildlife biologist John Bindernagel of Vancouver Island found massive footprints in the snow and heard a whoop, woo, woo, whoop call in the woods. His evidence includes 16-inch human-like footprints found in Strathcona Provincial Park while hiking. What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. I'm just enjoying myself.
In addition, Bindernagel said he heard a strange ape-like call at a friend's cabin near Comox Lake in 1992. Bindernagel said he knows of no other creature in North America that makes such a call, and he believes it was a Sasquatch trying to communicate with its own kind.
Oh my God.
Another form of evidence are dwellings and graves. Although by no means verified or authentic, I cannot read tonight. Although by no means verified or authenticated, there have been claims of discoveries of Sasquatch dwellings and even burial sites. Dallas Gilbert says he has had several encounters with Bigfoot, but his most controversial claim is for that of a possible Bigfoot community and burial site. Gilbert's story is weakened by his reluctance to disclose the exact location of the site. However, he has told the Daily Times in Portsmouth, Ohio, there are places where you can see territorial markings and snaps that the creature has made in the trees. There are even canopies made of trees for him to sleep under. The burial site is marked by a stone, according to Gilbert. It looks like a tombstone almost, Gilbert said. You can see the outlines of the creature's eyes, head, and his teeth. No corpses or other remains have been recovered from the area, so all we have is Gilbert's word on these claims. In 1995, Terry Endress and two friends were researching an area known for Bigfoot sightings for a local cable TV show. They chanced upon a large dome-shaped structure constructed of branches and brush. It was large enough for three full-grown men to sit in and was obviously not a natural occurrence.
That's crazy. And that's the thing that always gets me, because I'm like, if these Bigfoot things are real, why aren't we finding dead ones?
Yeah.
And then I heard that some people think that Bigfoot is from another dimension. So they pop in and out of our dimension.
Yeah.
And that's when we see them. So that's always gotten me. Where are the bodies?
Yeah. Another form of evidence are sounds. Not many people have heard the lonely, chilling cries and howls of Bigfoot, but those who have and know the sounds of the wilderness say it's an unforgettable sound like no other. Outdoorsman Bill Monroe, a writer for the Portland Oregonian, recounted his experience in an article for the newspaper. Monroe was elk hunting when the stillness of the late afternoon was broken by an eerie sound. The deafening, screaming, choking, belching moan from the ridge was chilling, he wrote.
Oh, whoa.
The kind of scream that sends mothers scurrying to find their children. The kind of scream no cougar or bear could ever squeeze from their throat, unless it was their last. Piercing, echoing, guttural, a single horrible, high-pitched, yet throaty, inhuman, unnatural creation of Steven Spielberg that makes your skin crawl.
Ew.
In 1984, Bruce Hoffman was prospecting for gold near the Clackamas River. He told investigator Greg Long this story. I had to park a couple 100 feet from the river, and I had to walk a little ways back towards the small stream that was running into the river. And just before I got to the small tributary, I would say from 1/8 of a mile to 1/4 of a mile away down in the woods, I started hearing this yell or a call. The sound had a bass tone, a muscular sound to it, and the sound got loud. You could hear how it went up through the trees and up into the sky. The sound traveled about 3 to 4 miles to the ridge of the mountains. You could hear the sound hit the mountain. Another form of evidence are smells. Invariably, the sightings of a Sasquatch is accompanied by a very strong, very foul odor. In June 1988, Sean Fries was camping on the North Fork of California's Feather River. I climbed into my tent and laid down on my bedroll. I let my dogs run around because they always stayed close to camp. I started to doze off when suddenly I woke up. It was dead quiet. No crickets, nothing, and my dogs came running into my tent shaking. I grabbed my rifle and flashlight and stepped outside the tent. I couldn't see anything, but I had that sensation of being watched. Then I heard some very heavy footsteps right behind me in the trees. There was also a very strange odor, almost like a cross between a skunk and something dead. This thing circled my campsite all night long.
That is creepy.
If you think about it, these smells, that has got to be what people smelled like before they figured out how to take a bath.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because if you never take a bath, ever, that's what you're going to smell like.
Yeah. It was for a long time, people thought it was bad for them to take a bath.
Yeah.
Ew.
Which, I don't understand that at all.
No.
How could it be a bad thing?
I don't know, but people believe whatever they hear. It's crazy.
All right, sightings. There's no shortage of Bigfoot sightings, some being more compelling than others and sounding more authentic. Here are some examples from experienced outdoors people that lend credence to the legend. Clayton Mack, a Native American of the Nuksauk Nation, knows the Canadian wilderness and its creatures as well as any man alive. A reputable grizzly bear hunter for 53 years, Mack relates this tale. I was fishing in Quatna, there's a typo. It says I was fishing in Quatna all by myself in August. I think it meant all by myself in August. I had a 30-foot boat with a single-cylinder engine. I got to Jacobson Bay, about 50 miles from Bella Coola, when I saw something on the edge of the water. It was kneeling down like, and I could see his back humping up on the beach. It looked like he was lifting up rocks or maybe digging clams, but there were no clams there. I turned the boat right in toward him. I wanted to find out what it was. For a while there, I thought it was a grizzly bear, kind of light color fur on the back of his neck, like a light brown. I nosed right in toward him to almost 75 yards to get a good look. He stood up on his hind feet, straight up like a man, and I looked at it. He was looking at me. Gee, I don't look like a bear. Gee, it don't look like a bear. It has arms like a human being, it had legs like a human being, and it got a head like us. I keep on going in toward him. He started to walk away from me, walking like a man on two legs. He was about 8 feet high. He got to some drift logs, stopped, and looked back at me. He looked over his shoulder to see me. Grizzly bear don't do that. I never see a grizz run on its hind legs like that, and I would never see a grizzly bear look over his shoulder like that. I was right close to the beach now. He stepped up on those drift logs and walked into the timber. Stepped on them logs like a man do.
Go on, man, do.
I'm not gonna be able to read this now. Stop it. I watched as he went a little higher up the hill. The wind blew me in toward the beach, so I backed up the boat and kept on going to Quatna Bay. In 1995, Paul Freeman, a veteran Bigfoot hunter, Bill Lowry, a former game warden, followed the sound of odd screams that were heard in the Blue Mountains of southeast Washington state. Joined by Wes Summerlin, a local resident, they hiked to an area where Bigfoot tracks had been found. In a clearing, the men found several small trees, twisted, broken, and dripping sap. Caught on the trees were large clumps of long black and brown hair. They caught sight of a 7-foot ape-like creature and heard the screams of two others. They observed the creature through binoculars at a distance of 90 feet, eating yellow wood violets. The tracker also found droppings 2 to 5 inches long, full of half-eaten carpenter ants and fallen trees that had been pulled apart for the ants inside. Oh my gosh. Oh. More examples are hair samples, tufts and tufts and strands of hair thought to come from Sasquatch have not added to the weight of evidence for the reality of the creature. Most hair samples tested proved to be that of bears or other non-primates. Promising samples were obtained in 1995 by Freeman, Lowry, and Summerlin. The hair samples gathered by the three men were sent to Ohio State University for DNA analysis. Dr. W. Henner Fahrenbach determined microscopically that the hair appeared to have come from two individuals of the same species, that it differed in color, length, and hair growth cycle between the two sets, had not been cut, and was indistinguishable from human hair by any criterion. Ultimately, the tests were inconclusive. The researchers said that the DNA extracted from both hair shafts or roots was too fragmented to permit gene sequencing.
It's very interesting, despite the funny part. It's very interesting, and that, I mean, it makes you think.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder what the hell's going on.
And we got photos and video.
Okay.
Photos, film footage, and video of Sasquatch are extremely rare. At worst, they are murky, fuzzy, and inconclusive. At best, when they are clear, they are highly controversial and suspected of being hoaxes. The Patterson-Gimlin film is by far the most famous and most scrutinized footage ever taken of Bigfoot. Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin shot the footage in 1967 with a 16mm camera while on an expedition to find the elusive creature in the Bluff Creek area of the Six Rivers National Forest in Northern California. Large footprints have been found in this region in previous years. Debate among various experts over the authenticity of the film has been ongoing for 30 years. In recent years, some people have come forward to claim that they participated in the hoaxing of the films, but even their testimony has been called into question. In September 1998, David Shealy took 27 photographs of the 7-foot-tall creature in the Everglades. It had been sitting up in the trees for about 2 hours every night for the past 8 months, Shealy said. I dozed off for a little while, and when I woke up, I saw it coming straight at me. At first, I thought it was a man, but then I realized it was the skunk ape. Shealy followed the tracks of the animal and made what he said could be the biggest skunk ape discovery. Small footprints, he says, appear to be from a baby skunk ape. Shealy now estimates there are between 9 and 12 skunk apes roaming the Everglades, and said most people who have spotted the creature usually see them in groups of 3 or 4.
That is very interesting. And, I didn't know that they had found other evidence around where they had shot this supposed video.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And that, because I've always been kind of on the fence about that, if it was faked or... But that's very interesting that they had found, footprints and stuff around that same area.
And I think a lot of these places where people see, these Bigfoot or whatever, are very densely...
Right. It's
dense forest area or like the Everglades or, where...
Yeah, and it's
very easy for them to hide if they are there.
Right, and it's very rarely traveled by humans.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if they are traveling through that area, how much of it are they actually going to see?
Oh, yeah, they're not going to see much at all.
That's crazy.
And then the last one I got is contact. There are very few cases of close contact or physical contact with Sasquatch, and many that have been reported are quite suspect. Stan Johnson claims to be one such contactee. Stan says he first met the 7-foot-tall wild man when he was a boy near his home in the Ozarks. Every day after school, Stan says he would meet the Sasquatch in the woods and talk with him. Since then, he's had several encounters and believes the creature comes from another dimension. Johnson's is a strange story. That's all I got.
Holy shit. So that one talked to him?
I guess, but my thing, how does it just, happen to speak the same language or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's crazy. Okay. This week, I did something that's going to take us back to childhood.
Uh-oh.
We're talking about weird things that you thought were normal, and then when you grew up, you found out they were not normal. Okay, so first one is from Redditor Startin' to Stack. Wearing saran wrap around my arms and legs to avoid lotions and creams from rubbing off when I went to school. What? So their mom would rub lotion on them and then wrap them in saran wrap and send them to school. Why? So it wouldn't rub off on stuff.
So this topic is really more about parents.
Some of them, most of them are, yes, but
crazy.
some of them are not.
Okay.
So just, yeah. Next one is from Redditor, King Boo Scares You. I'd always go downstairs on Christmas morning after opening all my presents in my parents' bedroom, and there would be an unflushed shit in the toilet, and every year my mom would be outraged that Santa didn't flush it.
Oh my god.
Even used fake snow on boots to make it look like he walked in and sat down.
Why couldn't they just do cookies and milk like a normal person. And how do they know if they got to take a shit at the same time every year?
Oh my gosh. Okay, this one's the best. My dad tried to kill the Easter Bunny every year. He would literally run out in the yard with his gun and take a few shots.
Oh my god.
Then he would come back inside grumbling about how he'd get him next year. We thought it was both terrifying and hilarious. I didn't realize how weird it was until people told me about that tradition later in life. Until I told people about that tradition later in life.
I bet after a couple times they stopped telling people. I'll just keep that to myself.
That's a story you say for when you're really drunk at parties. When it just comes out. Okay, this one is from Hula Girl 4737. We have costume parties for everything. We recently all dressed up like cowboys because my mom made chili.
That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, it'd be different. Next one, T. Sievers is from Redditor T. Sievers. My dad never says thank you at a drive-thru. It's far too easy and predictable. Instead, he makes up his own words. It essentially amounts to him being handed his bag of food. They say, "Have a nice day," and he replies with, "Ferdeber." And he drives away, straight-faced, no looking back. His other go-to word is razzle. I didn't realize this was weird until I was around 16. You know, I used to work at Arby's, like I've talked about before, and I used to have this manager who he would be like, "Welcome to Arby's," and blah, 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 blah. And everybody would be just like, "Yeah, like no," he would just talking gibberish, and they wouldn't care at all. It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Okay, this is from Redditor Jamie, like a bunch of 9s and then 1. Wash our asses in a bowl of water after taking a shit. My family is from India or Sri Lanka, so they never used toilet paper over there. When I was young, I thought a roll of toilet paper by the toilet was just to blow your nose while taking a dump.
That seems very time consuming.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. From Redditor Princess Ponyta. I have talked about this before and it's really kind of crazy. I'm stereo blind, which essentially means that I don't see in 3D ever.
Oh my gosh.
I have no depth perception. I had no idea that the world wasn't flat looking to everyone else. No wonder I sucked at sports as a kid.
Yeah?
I will say that I've actually seen depth once before when I was high on medication that heavily dilated my eyes. For once my pupils aligned correctly. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I really don't know how people handle seeing 3D all the time. It was way too much for me to process.
Wow.
That is crazy.
So cool.
I know, and it's just something that this person has grown up with, so they're totally used to it, and it's, oh my gosh.
And we couldn't imagine what that would look like.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Next one is kind of similar. This is from user Josie Sprix, something like that. Synesthesia, which means seeing sound as pretty fireworks all the time. I thought that the reason chalk on a chalkboard made everyone in class cringe was because they were seeing the bright, blinding blue light that it produced that I saw.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know. Oh, I wonder if, okay, and this may sound stupid, but if they see sound, do they hear it too? Or do they not hear it at all? Or do they just see it? Because I'm sure if they're just talking to someone, like having a conversation, they don't see that sound, right?
I don't know.
Huh. That's interesting.
But they said that they assumed that everyone cringed because
they were seeing the bright
they would
blue
know
light.
why they were cringing if they heard it.
I guess, yeah. That's so weird.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's from Redditor Duffel Muffin. When I lost a tooth, I would put it in a jar of water in the kitchen on the windowsill. When I woke up the next morning, my tooth would be gone and there would be a dollar bill in the water.
What?
I would run outside, lay it in the sun, and wait for it to dry. Apparently, this wasn't normal tooth fairy shenanigans, but it was a lot of fun. So they did their tooth fairy a little differently than trying to shove your hand under a pillow while the kid's asleep. Praying to God they don't.
Well, usually kids are like dead to the world when they're
But
sleeping.
you never know.
Exactly.
That's the scary part.
It's like, what if
about
they
it.
catch you? You're like, oh,
I was just seeing if your tooth was still there.
this is all a dream.
You're sleeping. Go back to sleep. Okay, next one is from Beam Sam. My family used to always say the phrase whacked on the junk when I was little. I always thought it meant acting crazy or silly until one day when I was 16 with my mind wandering, I realized, oh shit, that means they're on drugs. I confronted my parents about it later and they said, have you ever seen a toddler say whacked on the junk before? It's hilarious.
The way we get our chuckles
yeah, I mean, you gotta.
at our child's expense. That's what they're for, right?
Yeah, they don't know. That's why I remember Mommy used to always call me, or she would always be like, you little something. And when I was older, I was like, huh, what does she mean by that? Okay, next one is from Redditor PM Your Beards. Apparently, other people don't wipe standing up.
How would you even do that?
I don't know. People are weird. I don't know. Okay, next one is from Redditor Boba Fett. Celebrated our half birthdays exactly 6 months from our birthdays. Not a big celebration, just a small present and choosing dinner. Had no idea how weird it was until I commented about it being my half birthday while I was at school and got weird looks. That is kind of weird.
That is weird.
And why would you ever make up something that you had to buy something for extra?
Yeah.
There's so much shit during the year that you have to buy.
Exactly.
Don't make up other shit. All right, this is from Redditor Jackbeard. Sporks. When I was younger, we had these sporks and they were awesome. I never realized until I moved out that sporks were expensive as fuck, and the only reason we had them was because my mom had stolen them from an elementary school. They were metal sporks.
Metal?
Yeah, so like
Oh.
regular forks, but sporks.
Huh.
That's very cool. I want some. I guess they're expensive, though.
Yeah, apparently.
This is from Redditor My Dragon Cat. The house being under constant construction, we can relate to that. Apparently, most people don't have exposed drywall in their dining room for 10 plus years. We
Well,
did.
yeah, we did.
Close to.
Longer.
Yeah. It's still not done. Okay, this is from Redditor AJ McFly. In my country, the electricity cuts off multiple times a day, and you can't use a lot of things at once, like a microwave and a washing machine at the same time, or it will cut off even more. I didn't realize this was not normal until I saw people freaking out in movies when their power was out.
Yeah, we do freak out, too.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
It's creepy. I don't like it. It's just like all of a sudden everything's dark, and you're just like,
And it's
what the
not
fuck?
just dark. It is
silent.
pitch
Yeah.
black.
Yeah, it's very unsettling.
And quiet. Yeah, you're right. It's
Yeah.
so quiet.
Yeah, everything turns off, and
Yeah.
you're just like, you're sitting there, and
Yeah.
you're like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not fun. Okay, this one is from Redditor Tolstoy78. Pea shivers. I thought everyone had them. Turns out it's more like a quarter of everyone or something. I don't know what pea shivers is.
I don't either.
So the quarter of the population will get that.
Okay.
This is from Redditor Statjar. Bagged milk. I'm from Quebec. I don't know. Ashley's from Canada. Maybe she can tell us. This is from Redditor Sam of the Morgan. Racing. My parents drag raced, and there were several others in the neighborhood that did as well. I later realized it wasn't that common.
No?
Yeah. Next one's from Redditor DBX99. When I lived in Paris, France in middle school, the guys wore Argyle patterns on their socks because it was the cool thing to do. When I moved to the USA in high school, wearing Argyle socks was like walking around with a dick in my mouth.
Oh, okay. I guess that's one way to put it.
Okay, next one is from Redditor Golden Marauder. This is going to sound completely ridiculous, but I swear that I, a guy, really thought for years that everyone fantasized about making out with other guys all the time. I'm bisexual, so obviously I had the same thoughts about girls, and my thought process was something along the lines of, well, I like girls, so I'm clearly not gay, so I must be straight, and everyone must have these thoughts. It legitimately took me until I was 15 or 16 before I finally realized that most guys do not have dreams about sexy times with other dudes. Which I thought that was very interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, this one is from Redditor Margar3T. Sleeping buck naked almost every night. I didn't know how abnormal until an Ask Reddit thread a few weeks back, and I asked some friends and had no idea that most people wear clothes while they're sleeping every single night. It's very weird. This is from Redditor Go Me Sprinkles. Both my parents were teachers, and I thought it was so bizarre when I realized that my friends' parents worked all summer.
Yeah,
That's something it's something you never realized. That would be awesome if we had summers
Oh
off.
my gosh, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that should be a thing.
It should be.
I agree. Okay, this is from Redditor Andromeda 321. Growing up, my family had a unique whistle of a few short notes. This was because, especially in pre-cell phone era, when you're in public and it's time to go or you're looking for someone in a crowd, hearing this whistle meant someone in the family was looking for you and you should go see what's up. Having a system like that is really useful, but the first time others heard about it, they were shocked I'd respond to my mom's whistling like a dog. Could you imagine their ears perk up?
I gotta go.
I heard the whistle. Okay, this is from Redditor. Yeah. I thought everyone ate rice every day. Source, I'm Filipino. That's funny.
Yeah.
And my last one is from Redditor Hab1B. For a while, ages about 4 to 8, my mom would make us our favorite foods for Thanksgiving. Rather than the normal meal, my sister and I would choose 2 things we wanted. I always chose chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese, and my sister would usually choose Salisbury steak and something like scrambled eggs. Then we would have some veggies also. I also thought it was super awesome because usually we would only eat food I thought was gross, like shepherd's pie or buttered noodles. Turns out right after my dad left, we were shit poor and my mom could not afford traditional holiday meals. I was lucky enough to be born to an amazing mother who has since done very well for her and her children. Even when we were poor, I never knew it. We did cool shit, I thought, like backyard camping trips, hunting for dinosaur eggs on the weekend at the quarry. It was all fun, just had to be free. So go mothers.
Yes.
And yeah, I thought that was cool. So, and happy Thanksgiving because we're not going to talk to you until
Afterwards.
after. Yeah. So those were mine for the week.
All right. Speaking of Thanksgiving,
Oh yeah.
it's time for the witty wrap up.
Yay, ready wrap up.
And I did funny Thanksgiving quotes.
Okay. Yay.
All right. Thanksgiving is an emotional time. People travel thousands of miles to be with people they see only once a year and then discover once a year is way too often.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Cooking tip. Wrap turkey leftovers in aluminum foil and throw them out. I appreciated the Black Friday experience at home by hurling myself into a wall a number of times and then ordering online.
Okay, yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Although my friend makes me go Black Friday shopping with her now, so.
We'll go talk to you.
I know, thanks. If you stand in the meat section at the grocery store long enough, you start to get mad at turkeys. There's turkey ham, turkey bologna, turkey pastrami. Someone needs to tell the turkey, man, just be yourself. Last Thanksgiving, I shot my own turkey. It was fun. That shotgun going blam, everybody at the supermarket just staring. Why track them when I know where they are? Even though we're a week and a half away from Thanksgiving, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, yeah. That
Ain't it, though?
sucks.
Yeah. You can tell you ate too much for Thanksgiving when you have to let your bathrobe out. If you wish to make an apple pie truly from scratch, you must first invent the universe. That one was kind of stupid. Thanksgiving is America's national chow down feast, the one occasion each year when gluttony becomes a patriotic duty.
Fuck yeah.
And my last one, an optimist is a person who starts a new diet on Thanksgiving Day. That's all I got.
like it. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening, you guys. I have no idea what it means to us. We still want to hear those stories. Send them in at ghoulsnightoutpodcast@gmail.com. Look up our Facebook page. We're on there almost every day. So, yeah, we will talk to you next week again. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Later.